Well, joining me now, three of the country's best political analysts, all CNN contributors, Republican strategist, former White House political director, and chairman of the Mike Huckabee presidential campaign, Ed Rollins, New York Daily News columnist, Pulitzer Prize-winning Michael Goodwin, and syndicated columnist, journalism professor at Lehman College, Miguel Perez. Thank you all for being with us. What a surprise to find that Caroline Kennedy suddenly is getting bathed in, well, some sort of anointment water of some kind over the Associated Press, talked to all of her friends and found out, guess what? Her friends like her. The Daily News decides that everybody's very impressed with Caroline Kennedy. What's going on here, Miguel?
I don't know. We spoke about this on the program last week, this sort of celebrity politics that's going on nowadays. And Bloomberg supporting her. He also came in because he was a celebrity millionaire. I mean, he became mayor overnight. Hillary Clinton becoming our senator, coming from another state. You have all these celebrity politicians nowadays that, for some reason, people think that they should run the country when they haven't proven themselves to have the experience to be politicians in the first place.
Well, fortunately and unfortunately, this one comes down to one person. Governor David Paterson has the sole appointment authority here. And I'm still optimistic that Governor Paterson will not appoint Caroline Kennedy, who I think has just been, you know, she's shown that she's not qualified for the job. I mean, she's qualified in the sense that anybody could be senator, but she's not ready for this job.
We proved that time and time again.
I mean, some of the defenses of her are, well, look at all the dumbos in there now. Well, that's great. Let's have another one.
Don't forget, somebody famous pointed out what was it, the best friend forever? Our colleague and good friend Robert Zimmerman talks about the best friend forever relationship between her and Barack Obama.
Right. Well, even the absurdity to argue that her qualifications because she is connected to the President of the United States Senate. The United States, there's 100 senators. Every senator has to go in there and fight hard. Chuck Schumer's fought hard. Hillary Clinton fought hard for New York. The idea that she can pick the phone up and call the president every day, if that's all the president has to do is to deal with one junior senator from New York, we're going to be in big trouble as a nation. And I think this whole thing has been just an absurd process by the Kennedy activists.
And I agree with that. And if I could just say also that from the people of New York, I mean, this notion that being a senator is only about sort of getting along with the president, getting something from the president. You're supposed to represent the public in all kinds of complicated issues.
Oh, you mean like Senator Harry Reid, right?
Yes, that's right.
I got it. Yeah. We've got the model now.
Yeah, but Lou, you gained that experience by starting at the grassroots. She should run for the local school board. That's how politicians begin. Then run for the city council, then maybe the state assembly. Then, you know, work your way up to the Senate. Not, you know, hey, I'm here, I'm a Kennedy, appoint me.
But what I can't figure out is what happened to the Schlossberg part of her name. I mean, what the heck was that all about? Let's turn to, if we may, President Felipe Calderon of Mexico and President-elect Obama meeting today. They forgot to talk about NAFTA, Miguel.
I'm surprised that well, you know, I'm not surprised, frankly, because President-elect Obama spoke a lot about NAFTA, and I don't never believe that he meant it. It was pressure during the primaries in his competition with Hillary Clinton, appealing to the unions in this country. I don't really think he's ever going to do anything about NAFTA, so I'm not surprised that he didn't raise the issue.
What about, quote-unquote, comprehensive immigration reform and amnesty?
I'm hoping that he does something about that. Obama does something about that. I'm hoping that it's somewhat what McCain had proposed. Secure the borders first, because that's the only way that it's going to get through Congress.
I was struck by your report on immigration, Lou. I do think that is the first thing they've ever done that they said they would do on immigration was after that bill failed, Chertoff and the others said, we got to secure the borders first. And I do think they're belatedly enforcing the laws that are 20 years old. Better late than never, but still, that is the big issue. How many illegal immigrants have come in under George Bush is really a disgrace.
Maybe I'm very cynical, having spent 40 years around the United States Congress, but authorizing something and appropriating money to do it is totally different things. And I don't think that any pressure is going to be there today to secure the borders. I think there'll be an effort that the president-elect and certainly John McCain will probably lead to legalize a lot of the illegals or certainly give them a path to citizenship. But to basically spend resources that are limited at this point in time to secure that border is going to be a low priority. And it should be the highest priority because that's what the commitments that were made earlier.
We're going to be back with our panel in just a moment. We'll be talking about the sincerity of the commitment and whether or not Barack Obama has one at all to secure borders. But first, coming up at the top of the hour, Campbell Brown, no bias, no bull. Campbell, what are you working on?
Hey there, Lou. In just a minute, we're going to take a no-bias, no-bull look at President Bush's final news conference. He was defensive and sarcastic at times. At others, he was very serious, very sincere, reflective. Really a remarkable display of emotion. We're going to take a good long look and have reaction from some of the smartest political minds around. Also, Roland Burris finally gets to declare victory. We'll have the very latest on when he gets to become the junior senator from Illinois. Plus, why Barack Obama's victory meant that Tracy Morgan got to do the talking instead of Tina Fey at last night's Golden Globe Awards. Lou?
Thank you very much. And a reminder to join me on the radio Monday through Fridays for the Lou Dobbs Show. Tomorrow's guests include Arnold Shapiro, executive producer of Homeland Security USA on ABC. Go to Lou Dobbs Radio to get the local listings in your area for the show. And coming up next, more with our panel and the result of our poll. Up next, stay with us.
Now you can own a piece of history, commemorating the day the world changed forever. Be one of the first to reserve Historic Victory, the commemorative plate honoring the election of the 44th President, America's first African-American Commander-in-Chief. His confident smile and kind eyes are an inspiration to us all. This priceless work of art features a triumphant president-elect surrounded by the American flag and spectacular celebration fireworks. Historic Victory is crafted of fine porcelain and richly accented in 22-karat gold trim. The election date and inscription, "Change Has Come," are displayed in gold text on this first-issue collector's plate. The back displays the seal of the American Historic Society and documents the historic electoral and popular vote totals on Election Day. This certificate of authenticity from the American Historic Society promises you'll own a collectible of the highest quality and integrity. It comes with a display stand for any desktop or curio case, or proudly hang it on any wall. This issue has been strictly limited to just 65 firing days. After that, the die will be destroyed forever. Due to the unprecedented demand, there is a strict limit of 2 victory plates per color.
I never thought this day would come.
And now we own a piece of history.
Our generation has spoken, and now this special treasure will be cherished as a prized family heirloom
for generations to come.
Yes, you can own a piece of history authorized by the American Historic Society with bonus display stand and certificate of authenticity for the first issue price of only $19.99. Call now.
Have your credit card ready when you call 1-800-916-3905. That's 1-800-916-3905. Remember, this issue has been strictly limited with only 65 firing days, and there is a strict limit of 2 victory plates per caller. So call now, 1-800-916-3905. That's 1-800-916-3905. Call now.
A city girl.
I know how to light a fire. Where's the switch?
And a country guy.
Where's something you can get dirty?
Are both way out of their element.
I'm stuck.
Marathon. New in town. Rated PG-13. In theaters January 30th.
We're back with Ed Rollins, Michael Goodwin, and Miguel Perez. Let's start out with the president today waxing nostalgic, saying basically that he made a big mistake because he put all that political capital, Ed Rollins, into Social Security instead of comprehensive immigration reform. How's he feeling, do you think, here in the last week?
This was an idiotic press conference. I think the president's entitled to the American public to say thank you for your 8 years of service, but he's not going to convince anybody he's done a job well done. And that's not coming. And I think this sort of like arguing that we had 51 months of job growth when we're sitting here with a 75-year worst recession in history just shows how out of touch he is. And I think it was a sad day. You saw the best and the worst of George Bush's personality, and I think it almost looks pathetic.
Here's another one, if we could. I'd like to. George Bush talking about he wants. Here's a Republican president conflating anti-immigration views with anti-illegal immigration views, and then attacking his own party. Here he is on, this is a guy who ran up $6 trillion in extra trade debt, rising up until the bailout, faster than the national debt. And now he wants to call that protectionism to look for reciprocal, mutual, and balanced trade. Well, let's listen to the president here.
I am concerned about protectionism. In tough economic times, the temptation is to say, well, let's just throw up barriers and, protect our own and not compete.
Michael?
Well, look, you know, politics ain't beanbag, and the reality is George Bush is turning Washington over to Democrats. I mean, he did that. He effectively destroyed the Republican Party. The Republican Party, as Ed well knows, tends to follow its president much more than the Democrats, and the Republicans have followed George Bush right over the cliff.
And it's a cliff that he obviously doesn't even recognize, even though his party members are sitting as debris and at the bottom of the cliff.
As the president would say, we underestimated his his administration. But you know, in looking back, we are not going to have too many fond memories of the Bush administration. It's, you know, there are all kinds of polls now showing that, you know, people are not going to miss him, and he still has this audacity to come out in a press conference and pretend like he really had a wonderful presidency. Right. That's what he was doing today.
He apologized today for his mission accomplished, and mission accomplished means the Democrats have taken over the entire government, unfortunately, they say.
Gentlemen, thank you very much. Appreciate it, Ed. Thank you very much, Michael. Miguel, appreciate it.